we have our first Premier League deadline day incoming completed deal of the day, and it's no surprise, is it, that Nottingham Forest are the ones to have done it. 39 signings they've now made in 3 transfer windows since coming back to the Premier League, and it is the young Portugal striker Rodrigo Ribeiro that they have completed a loan deal for from Sporting. It is a loan deal for the remainder of this season, but Forest can buy him in the summer. They have the option to do that. A very young and exciting prospect. We know that Forest have been struggling for goals of late, haven't they? When Taiwo Awoniyi was injured, Forest weren't scoring regularly. He's back fit now, but how much game time will Ribeiro get? Clearly it's a loan deal. They expect to get game time for him. Nuno Espirito Santo thinks very highly of him. He scored a lot of goals at youth level and actually made his debut for Sporting in the Champions League against Manchester City back in March 2022. So that shows how highly Sporting think of him, but he's now a Nottingham Forest player, will be available for the weekend, and could he be thrown straight into the side? We wait to see. Done deal, Nottingham Forest. Rodrigo Ribeiro, I beg your pardon, under 20 Portuguese international, has joined the Forest ranks.
And potentially one on the way out today, Rob, as well, do we think? I mean, they love deadline day Forest, don't they?
They do, but it's important that they get some outs, because we know, of course, they've been charged by the Premier League with breaching profit and sustainability rules. So if they want to have any more flexibility to bring anybody in, which they would like to do, in particular a goalkeeper, they need to get some players out. Orel Mangala is moving ever closer to that. As I understand it, Forest have agreed a deal with Lyon for Mangala to go there. We said to you about an hour ago we weren't sure if it was a loan deal or a substantive deal. I can tell you now it's a loan deal with an option for Lyon to buy him in the summer, and it's a pretty substantive loan fee that I've been told, which will certainly help Forest finances. Whether it's enough for them to do a deal with Crystal Palace for Sam Johnston, remember Palace don't want to sell him, and it would take a bid of around 12 to 15 million pounds to even bring them to the negotiating table. I don't think it's going to be enough to get that deal done for Forest. I don't think they have the leeway in terms of PSR, but they are looking at other goalkeeping options. I'm on the phone to various contacts on that. We'll keep you posted if we can find out more.
Brilliant, Rob. Many thanks.
Yeah, OK, we've got a little update as well on Said Benrahma, by the way, before we get to Nottingham Forest. We're just told that Lyon is still waiting for Said Benrahma to make a final decision on whether he wants to join. Those talks are ongoing. It's a loan with an obligation to buy, which could be worth more than £15 million to West Ham if Benrahma accepts that deal. France have got to be a little bit quicker. Their window closes at 10 p.m. rather than 11 p.m. like it is over here. Right, OK, when it comes to Nottingham Forest, we've just been talking there, Rob Dawson's just broken that news, Harriet. Rodrigo Ribeiro on loan till the end of the season. They wanted a forward and they've got one.
Yeah, exactly. And as he mentioned there, he does look like he is a talent very much for the future and a young and exciting prospect. Played 10 games in a League of 3 with Sporting's B team this season, scored a couple of goals in there as well. It's an interesting one for Nottingham Forest because we mentioned Awoniyi, and he is obviously that first choice striker when he is available and fit. But without him, they do struggle to score goals. He is available again now, so how much game time will Ribeiro really get when he's coming in? They must think quite a lot, considering it is a loan deal with that option to buy on the end of it. But yeah, as I mentioned, Portugal under 20 striker, very much see him as a recruit for the summer. But I think a clever bit of business, very low risk for Nottingham Forest. They don't have to commit to anything right now. Can see how the next few months play out and then decide whether to pull the trigger or not in summer, and an option to buy him then. So yeah, clever signing for Forest. They're always keeping us busy. They always keep us with talking points, don't they, out throughout every window recently.
Yeah, they do. And down with Mangala seemingly on his way out for a good bit of money as well. How important was it for Nottingham Forest to get some players out?
Yeah, look, I'm surprised to see Forest so active, bearing in mind what we know about them and PSR and potential point deductions that may be to come. But if they are to be buying, then yeah, they have to let players go. They have to trim the wage, but they have to try and get some sensible fees in for players as well. Mangala earlier, Harriet said he was a regular under Steve Cooper, slightly less regular under Nuno, so it makes sense that they may look to let him go. They've obviously been very active in every window since they've returned to the Premier League, Nottingham Forest, but a good club, and you know, I hope they can stay up this season and start to move up the table.
And Flex, what this means, if Mangala does go and there's an obligation to buy at the end of the season, there are still question marks over whether that frees up enough cash for them to go in for Sam Johnson from Crystal Palace. We were talking yesterday, weren't we, with James Savundra about how they were wanting to bring in Sam Johnson, but with these constraints, they have to work out whether Mangala leaving would be enough to get Sam Johnson in. But why do they want a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I think Matt Turner's come in and hasn't really been very reliable. There's been quite a few high-profile mistakes that he's made. Obviously, just in the game just gone against Arsenal, made a mistake in that game. Game against Manchester United, he gifted Marcus Rashford the chance to equalise, and there's been a few more as well. So he's come in from Arsenal and hasn't really been able to nail down that position. And obviously he wasn't brought in by Nuno as well. So I think definitely Forest fans will be looking at that saying we probably want an upgrade in that position. Whether or not they can do it or not, like you said, with the Mangala situation, if there's a sizable loan fee, fair enough, but is it enough to sort of bring Crystal Palace to the table? I mean, 12 to 15 million pounds for them to have to find to bring Palace to the table is still really significant considering the position that Forest are in. So we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out with the deal of Mangala going to Lyon first.